on their league opener against Englewood rather handily, 12-0. And they will have their ace on the hill in Kyle Daniels. As we'll get to the starting lineup here, brought to you by Cargill Beef. We'll do that momentarily. Actually, we'll do that at the bottom of the first inning for the Mustangs. And we'll get you to the Rebel starting lineup. Keep in mind, you can follow us on Twitter at B106. On our Facebook page as well, B106. All right, batting first is Jake Erker, the second baseman. Wow, this got messed up here for me, big time. Okay, we'll get to this. Apparently, it did not save the original lineup I had in place, but Jake Erker steps in, wind and pitch, and the changeup is in there for a strike. This is KPRB, Brush, Fort Morgan, Morgan County's B106, the 0-1. Swag and a miss of the curveball. Opening pitch brought to you by Buildings by Design. The experience to complete your project from start to finish. Get the quality you deserve in your building by starting your build project right. Start with Buildings by Design. And the fastball is away. From Kyle Daniels, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Against the right-handed hitter, the pitch. And the curveball called strike 3 on the outer half, and Kyle Daniels, the junior, with an excellent start to this game. And there's 1 down. And that'll send up the number 2 hitter, also hitting from the right side for Weld Central. Swung on in line into right center field for a base hit. That ball in the gap. And that one hit by Chris Quinn. That'll bring up the third place hitter. Hitting from the left side, Jimmy LaConte. The stretch and the offering. The curveball in the outside corner for a strike. No balls and 1 strike. 1 down, 1 on top of the first inning. Daniels with the delivery. Curveball is a little bit away. And the count levels at 1-1. The big catcher, Matt Sims, on deck, followed by the starting pitcher, Dalton Wilkinson. And the offering. Fastball, a strike on the outside corner. And this guy knows how to mix it up very nicely. Kyle Daniels does. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mustangs looking for their 4th victory of the year. The stretch and the pitch. Fastball is away. And that levels the count at 2-2. Again, working quickly. Daniels at the belt, the pitch, the runner going, swung on, and tapped out in front of the plate. It's picked up by the catcher, Schneider, throw to first in time. Goes as like a swinging bunt. And LaConte's retired. And there's 2 down. And here is Matt Sims. Big, strong catcher hitting for these Rebels. With a man in scoring position. Daniel stretches and the pitch. And the curveball is away. One ball and no strikes. With 2 down in the top of the first inning. Leading off of second is Quinn. And the stretch and pitch. Swung on and fouled off to the right. And out of play, that evens the count. At 1 ball and 1 strike on deck is the big left-handed hitter, the opposing pitcher, Dalton Wilkinson. Who the Mustangs will have to contend with today. Daniels gets the sign. And the offering. Swag and a miss on a breaking ball. Count is at 1-2. Again, Quinn off of second. The stretch by Daniels and the pitch. Fastball is up and away. That levels the count at 2-2. Opening pitch today brought to you by Buildings by Design, the experience to complete your project from start to finish. Get the quality you deserve in your building with Buildings by Design. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The stretch by the left-hander. Matt Sims awaits. And the offering runner going. Swing and a miss, and Daniels records 2 strikeouts in the opening inning. Weld Central does not score. The Mustangs coming to bat in 1 minute on B106 and B106.com. It'll be Dalton Wilkinson here in the bottom of the first inning pitching for Weld Central, as the Mustangs will be setting up their lineup, brought to you by Cargill Beef. They are committed to feeding the world in a responsible way by reducing environmental impact and improving products and processes. Learn about Cargill's story of commitment at Cargill.com. The Mustangs go with their pitcher Kyle Daniels to lead off. Batting second is the center fielder Trevor Shurtleff. The third baseman Austin Cosman at third. Catcher Joey Schneider is the cleanup hitter. Carlito Urquiera. The shortstop bats fifth. Bladen Pollitt at second hits sixth. The left fielder Kenny Keller at seventh. Nate Cage at first hits eighth. And Trey McBride, the right fielder, bats ninth as Daniels steps in. Mustangs went 1-2 in that Montrose tournament over the weekend. The stretch by the big left-hander and the pitch. And the fastball is over but low. 1 ball and no strikes to Kyle Daniels. Lefty against lefty, the pitch. Swung on line for a base hit right up the middle. And that's the way this game starts on the offensive end for the Fort Morgan Mustangs, with Daniels smoking it right back through the box. That'll bring up Shurtleff. You can follow us pitch by pitch. Go to KSIRsports.com. Don't have all the cooperation from my technology this early on in the season, but we're working on it. The right-hander steps in. The lefty delivers. Fastball away. 1 ball and no strikes to the right-handed hitter Trevor Shurtleff for Fort Morgan. The Mustangs have been up and down offensively this year, as they have a lot of young players on this team. Swung on and grounded left side, backhanded by the shortstop and off his glove. That'll be an infield hit. Yeah, nothing there that could be done with that one. So Shurtleff reaches. So that's 2 singles to begin the game, as ranging to his right there was Jimmy LaConte. That sends up Austin Cosman, who's got 9 base hits in his first 5 games. This guy's been a terror for opposing pitchers. Stretched by the left-hander and the offering, squaring to bunt, and it's low and down and in. 1 ball and no strikes. Wilkinson awaiting the sign. The stretch and pitch, runners going, swung on and driven into deep right field, and going back and making the catch as the runners retreat is Dawson Lang. And there's 1 down. So Cosman gave it a ride, but unfortunately for him, it fell right in the glove of the right fielder, Dawson Lang. That'll bring up Joey Schneider from the cleanup position. The stretch and the offering. Fastball, a strike on the outer half of the knees. No balls and 1 strike. Looking in. The stretch. And the pitch is swung on, grounded weakly to third. That's going to be an infield hit, picked up by the pitcher, tossed to third, and it's going to be late, even though it's dropped by the third baseman over there, Andrew McWilliams, but there was no play. So Schneider reaches on the dribbler And the bases are loaded for the Mustangs and Carlito Urquieta. So big opportunity. We'll have a courtesy runner at first for the Mustangs as well. That'll be Anthony Arroyo. And Wilkinson operating out of the stretch with Urquieta at the plate. There's the stretch and the offering. And the fastball is a strike at the knees on the inside corner. No balls and 1 strike. Mustangs looking to break through here in the bottom of the first inning. Urquieta from the right side swings and dribbles it foul behind the plate. And that moves the count to 0-2. We're in the bottom of the first inning, and Weld Central did not score in the top half of the frame. Let's see if Urquieta can do something about it here in the bottom of the first for the Mustangs. The pitch swung on, line into right field. That's going to be a base hit. Daniels will score. Shirt left to third, and the bases are reloaded on the RBI single by Carlito Urquieta. And the Mustangs lead by a score of 1-0. That'll bring up Bladen Pollitt. Just took a fastball over the plate and was able to hit it beautifully to the right side. And he did it on a 2-strike pitch. The stretch and a pitch, swing, and a miss on a tailing fastball. No balls and 1 strike as Wilkinson gets ahead of the Mustang right-handed hitter. The pitch, and that fastball's down and away. And that levels the count at 1-1. Fort Morgan has never lost a Colorado 7 league game. So good this team has been. Swung on and drifted foul off to the right and out of play. And that moves the count to 1-2. Kyle Daniels allowed just 1 base runner in the top half of the first inning, and now helping his own cause by leading off the game with a base hit and scoring. 1 ball, 2 strikes, bases loaded, 1 down, bottom of the first. The Mustangs lead 1-0. And the pitch, and that's down and in with a fastball that levels the count at 2-2. Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance has locations in Brush and Fort Morgan. They can help you with your home, car, health, or life insurance questions or needs. Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance. 2 balls, 2 strikes with an open stance is Pollitt. And the pitch outside on the ball tailing away. And now he's got to throw it somewhere over the plate. Well, the Mustangs will extend the lead as the catcher Sims is out there to talk to his pitcher Wilkinson. It'll be 3 balls and 2 strikes here in the bottom of the first inning, and I wonder if there's an injury here. As Levi Tapia, the head coach, is out there, there could be an injury to the pitcher Wilkinson. And right now he's favoring his left shoulder, and he might be taken out of the game. Now, let's see what happens as the umpires are converging on the mound along with the rest of the infield. Well, but apparently Wilkinson's going to stay in the game. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Pollitt will step back in. The Mustangs lead 1-0 on Carlito Urquieta's RBI single. Light Mustang crowd settling in on a gorgeous Wednesday afternoon. These two teams will hook up on Friday in Keensburg at 4 o'clock. Also on B106 and B106.com. We'll have all the league games for you, all 12 Colorado 7 league games, and, of course, the postseason as well. And the 3-2. Swung on and driven in the air to right field. Dawson Lang is 3 steps back, comes in, makes the catch. Shurtleff tacks in third, and he will score on the sacrifice fly. Runner moves on to third for the Mustangs, and it's now 2-0 with runners at the corners as Arroyo's now at third. So Fort Morgan doubles the lead right there. That'll bring up Kenny Keller. Good-looking right-handed hitter for Fort Morgan. And let's see if the back runner takes off. The pitch swung on and driven foul off to the right. And the back runner being the trail runner, Urquieta at first base. No balls, one strike. 2 on, 2 in. The stretch by Wilkinson. And the offering. And that's down and in. Urquieta takes off. No throw to second. Now the throw back to third. And out at third base. As the tag was applied. And Arroyo's out at third. And that will end the inning. The Mustangs do score a couple of runs as they loaded the bases on a 3 base hits in the first 4 hitters. Let's head to the second inning. In Fort Morgan, the Mustangs 2, Weld Central nothing on B106 and B106.com. It'll be Dalton Wilkinson to begin the second, and the changeup is down and away. Mustangs lead the Rebels by a score of 2-0. On an RBI single from Carlito Urquieta, swung on and fouled. And a sacrifice fly from Bladen Pollitt. One ball and one strike. Stretch and pitch. Upstairs with another changeup. And that moves the count to 2-1. The offering. Curveball is a beauty right down the middle. And it certainly froze Wilkinson. The count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lefty against lefty. Wind by Kyle Daniels, the pitch. Curveball is up and away. Barely missed with Brian Gutka, the left fielder, on deck. It is 3-2. The pitch. Outside corner fastball called strike 3. And Daniels spotted that perfectly. And there's one down. And he nailed that corner. That's strikeout number 3 for Daniels. Here comes the right-handed hitting left fielder Gutka. And the changeup is over but low. 1 ball and no strikes. And that pitch is in the dirt. Went down and in. 2-0. On deck is Isaac McWilliams. Two balls, no strikes. Daniels rarely falls behind. Swung on and driven in the air down the right side. The first baseman Cage is over, runs out of room. And the count moves to 2-1. 2-0 Fort Morgan. We're in the top of the second inning. 1 out and the base is empty. And the Mustangs with their ace on the hill, Kyle Daniels. Two balls and one strike. The Rebels did get a hit in the first inning. Mustangs had 4. And that fastball is upstairs. It is 3-1. 2 McWilliams, Isaac and Andrew are coming up for Weld Central. And the pitch. Swung on, driven into right field. That's a base hit. Little looper out there. But a nice job of Gutka getting the bat on the ball and delivering the base hit there for Weld Central. And that'll bring up Isaac McWilliams. Followed by Andrew, then we'll get to the bottom of that order. Stretch by Daniel. Short lead at first, the offering. Swung on, that's lined into right field, and a base hit. And moving on to second is Gutka, as McBride gets the ball back in. So that's 3 base hits here for Weld Central, 2 in this inning. On the last 2 pitches. And they are threatening with a right-handed hitting right fielder Dawson Lang stepping to the plate. Let's see if Daniels can get him to hit into a double play. The pitch. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. That dove in the zone. Count is at 0-1. Stretch by Daniels. And the offering. Swung on and tapped foul. Moves the count to 0-2 to Isaac McWilliams. Or check that, to Dawson Lang. Nope, it's Andrew McWilliams. Excuse me. I had that. Lang is on deck. All right, now I got it straight. Daniels looks in. 0-2. Waste pitch is a fastball outside. No runs on 3 hits for Weld Central. 2 runs on 4 hits for Fort Morgan. We're in the top half of the second inning on a beautiful afternoon in Fort Morgan. The Mustangs with a 2-0 lead. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Goodk off of second. Isaac McWilliams off of first. Andrew McWilliams inside the batter's box. And the throw back to second. The tag. It's safe. Goodka got underneath the tag. An excellent move there by Daniels. Looked like he had him, but just a little bit tardy. Now the stretch again. And the offering. Swing and a miss on a ball down at the ankles. Strikeout number 4 for Kyle Daniels. He's had 2 in each of the first 2 innings. 2 down for the right fielder. Hitting from the left side. They've got, 3 lefties in this lineup. Dawson Lang, and the curveball is upstairs. One ball and no strikes. And this favors Daniels the more left-handers he gets. Although McWilliams, the left-hander, got a base hit moments ago. And the offering. Curveball is on the inner half for a strike. Thigh high, and the count levels at 1 ball and 1 strike. And they're making Daniels work. That's why he's got 4 strikeouts on 33 pitches thus far. 20 of those for strikes. Goodk off at second. McWilliams at first. And the 1-1 offering is a fastball in the dirt, blocked beautifully by Joey Schneider. Ball 2, strike 1. Mustangs have 3 starters. That's it from a year ago. Daniels, Schneider, and Cosman. Pitcher, catcher, and third. Throw back to second, back in diving is Goodka. Nothing doing there. That had no threat of getting him. The previous pickoff attempt was really close. Daniels gets the sign. And the offering. Swing and a miss. He pulled off that breaking ball. Nowhere close. That moves the count to 2-2. All right, so Kyle 1 pitch away from getting out of this mini jam. There were 2 on and 1 out. 2 on, 2 out, 2 strikes. And the pitch. Swing and a miss, and a breaking ball down and away. Schneider will have to throw him out, and does, and that ends the inning as Kyle Daniels strikes out the side. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. Let's head to the bottom of the second inning in Fort Morgan. It's the Mustangs 2, the Weld Central Rebels nothing on B106 and B106.com. Mustangs with a 2-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the second inning. Kenny Keller was at the plate when Anthony Arroyo was picked off of third. It'll be 7, 8, and 9 for the Mustangs here against Dalton Wilkinson. Mustangs scored an RBI single from Carlito Urquiera. And then a sacrifice fly from Bladen Pollitt. So Keller gets a fresh at bat for the Mustangs. Against the left-hander Dalton Wilkinson. Rominger Jewelry and Gifts is the leader in Northeast Colorado for diamonds, jewelry, watches, and expert in-store jewelry repairs for service, quality, and value. Shop Rominger's in downtown Sterling. Stretched by Wilkinson. And the offering. Swung on line into right center field for a base hit. That's the fifth hit for Fort Morgan, as Lang will cut it off and hold Keller to a single. And Wilkinson getting hit hard here in the early going. That'll bring up the 8th place hitter, Nate Cage. And now I think we might, looks like Wilkinson might be hurt again. He's laboring out there. And now let's see if we have a pitching change for Weld Central. We will. Let's take a break. We're in the bottom of the second inning. It's Fort Morgan 2, Weld Central nothing on B106 and B106.com. Brian Gutka is the new pitcher for Weld Central. The Mustangs lead 2-0 in the bottom of the second inning. So Wilkinson last 1+ inning, allowing 5 hits, 2 runs. That runner at first, Kenny Keller, is his responsibility. So they'll go to a right-hander. Let's see, I think Wilkinson's going to be, well, he's in the infield, so more than likely he's going to go to first base, but he's laboring out there. He's a big guy, bending over at the waist. I don't know if he hurt his arm or he's out of breath or what's happening there, but the Rebels had to make a pitching change. Yeah, Wilkinson's going to be at first base. And that might move Isaac McWilliams over to left. So here's the 8th place hitter, Nate Cage. Big, strong right-handed hitter for the Mustangs, playing first base. With Fort Morgan already in the lead 2-0 with their ace, Kyle Daniels, on the hill. And a nice lead for Keller at first. He's got speed, about a 3-step lead. The stretch. Pitch to Cage. Swung on and driven deep into center field, but it should be a routine play for Chris Quinn. He's under it, and he makes the catch. He barely had to move, actually. And there's one down. Retreating to first is Keller, and that'll send up Trey McBride, the freshman, hitting for the 9th spot and playing right field for Fort Morgan. When buying a mixer or feeder truck, compare the MMI design, craftsmanship, and service. MMI International, 842-5161. That's MMI International. 3-step lead at first. Stretch, and McBride awaits. Swung on, grounded to third. Should be a routine play. To second, that's going to be offline and into right field. Lang's going to pick it up and throw towards third, and it's cut off over there. And that will be an error on the third baseman. Andrew McWilliams just made a wide throw as Trey McBride reaches on a ground ball. The Mustangs have runners at first and third with a major threat at the plate in Kyle Daniels, who singled and scored in the opening frame. Fort Morgan's looking to extend that 2-0 lead. The stretch. The right-hander comes into Daniels. Here it is. Up and away. The count is sitting at 1 ball and no strikes. The Daniels in a hitter's count. Awaiting the pitch. Here it is. Swung on line towards center field off the end of the bat. That's a base hit. Keller will score. It's an RBI for Daniels, and the Mustangs now lead 3-0 as they pick up their 6th hit of the game, and we're only in the bottom of the second inning. And that'll bring up Trevor Shirtleff. For Fort Morgan. Shirtleff is 0 for 1. Batting from the right side. Stretched by the right-hander, Gutka. And the offering upstairs. One ball and no strikes. Mustangs scored 2 runs in the opening frame. Gets the sign. Ahead in the count like Daniels was. 1-0 squares to bunt up the third base side. Fielded by Gutka, second baseman covering, and it's going to be late. Excellent bunt by Shirtleff. And the Mustangs pick up their 7th hit, and the bases are loaded. A beautiful bunt up the third base side. And watch out here, because Austin Cosman, who's 0 for 1, will step in. And we know that he's got home run power without question. He's proven that over the last couple of years. So Fort Morgan threatening for more. Swung on and tapped foul behind the plate. I think he was thinking of doing that on the very first pitch. No balls and 1 strike to the Mustang third baseman, a senior in Austin Cosman. Awaits the pitch. Here it is. Swung on and lifted into center field. Chris Quinn ranges to his right. Should score the run. Now back to his left. Makes the catch. 2 runners tag. Throw to the plate will be late as Trey McBride scores. And the Mustangs now lead 4-0. 2 runs in each of the first 2 innings. As Cosman picks up the sac fly. And Daniels moves to third. Yeah, I think he wanted to crank that one out. There's no question he was looking in that direction. Of the fence, that is. Joey Schneider got an infield single. So Schneider at 1 for 1. The stretch by Gutka. And the pitch. Down and away. Took something off of that one. Kind of sitting at 1 ball and no strikes. To Schneider. So Gutka's fallen behind quite a bit against all these hitters. The offering. Swung on, grounded to third. Fielded. McWilliams throws to first in time. And that will end the inning. But the Mustangs pick up 2 more runs on 3 hits. There was an error and 2 men left. 2 complete in Fort Morgan. It's Fort Morgan 4, Weld Central nothing. On B106 and B106.com. Well, the Mustangs are doing the damage here in the opening 2 innings as they lead Weld Central by a score of 4-0. Fort Morgan, which has never lost a Colorado 7 league game. Perfect in 2 seasons. Well on their way again is Jake Erker, Chris Quinn, and Jimmy LaConte at the top of the order. Will hit for Weld Central against Kyle Daniels, who's allowed 3 hits. But he's had no trouble holding those runners at bay. Erker struck out looking. In fact, Daniels has 5 strikeouts in the opening 2 innings. Make Stubbs Gas and Oil your next stop heading out of town. You can gas up your vehicle, sit down to lunch, down and in with a fastball, get snacks and your hunting and fishing licenses. Stubbs Gas and Oil in Wiggins. 1 ball and no strikes, the offering. Swing, and a miss on a breaking ball in the dirt. Man, that is awfully tempting to swing at. Comes across nice and slow, but that's why it's so tempting, and then he makes all these guys miss it. Fastball is down and in. Moves the count to 2-1 to Erker. And the pitch in the dirt. Oh, he fell behind a hitter earlier in the game, 3-1. Came back to retire the hitter. The offering is up and away. Daniels issues a rare walk. So Erker reaches to begin the 3rd inning. And Chris Quinn is the hitter, and he lined a base hit into right field. His first time up. Schneider lays down the sign. Bat on the shoulder of the pitch. Curveball is upstairs. That's 4 consecutive balls thrown by Daniels. He's just got to relocate the strike zone. Rely on that infield with Cage, Pollitt, Urquieta, and Cosman. 1-0. Swing and a miss on a changeup tailing in. The count is level at 1 ball and 1 strike. You need your vehicle and farm equipment to be in top shape, so make sure you take care of that vehicle and farm equipment. Purchasing the best quality parts at Central Auto Parts in Fort Morgan. Throw back to first. Urkers back in. One ball, one strike, one on. Nobody out in the third. Fort Morgan 4, Weld Central nothing. Daniels delivers. Curveball is grounded right back to the mound. Daniels to short for one. Urquieta to first. Double play. 1-6-3. As the Mustangs turn that one beautifully. And there are two down. Oh, that was textbook. And here's Jimmy LeConte, who had a weak dribbler that was fielded by Schneider, who threw him out. So Daniels made up for that walk to begin the inning. The changeup's a strike on the outside corner just below belt level. It's 0-1. Daniels has thrown 45 pitches. Swag and a miss. He blew the fastball by the left-handed hitting shortstop. Count moves to 0-2. Daniels ready. Can he put him away on this pitch? Here it is. Swung on and grounded weakly to second. Pollitt fields, throws on the run in time. And it turns out to be an unconventional 1-2-3 inning. Let's head to the bottom of the third inning in Fort Morgan. It's Fort Morgan 4, Weld Central nothing. This is B106 and B106.com. 5, 6, and 7 for the Mustangs as we hit the bottom of the third inning. And Fort Morgan in the lead 4-0. It'll be Carlito Urquieta, Bladen Pollitt, and Kenny Keller against the right-hander Brian Gutka, who came into the game one hitter into the second inning. Closed the book on Wilkinson. He allowed 3 runs on 5 hits. So Gutka just trying to keep Weld Central at this 4-0 deficit, but with the way Kyle Daniels is pitching, didn't strike out anybody in that third inning, but started a 1-6-3 double play. And although he's allowed 3 hits, it seems that he's actually getting stronger, because the first 2 innings were feast or famine, either a base hit or a strikeout. 5 strikeouts and 3 base hits. Urquieta had an RBI single in the opening inning for Fort Morgan. Good-looking shortstop for the Mustangs. Wind and pitch, and that is up and in with a fastball. 1 ball, no strikes. Mustangs can make this a 4.5-inning game. They'd have to score 6 more runs and then hold Weld Central. They'd have to do it over the next 2 innings. Wind in the 1-0. Swag and a miss on a changeup tailing down and in, and the count levels at 1 ball and 1 strike. Find out why Morgan Community College is the best choice for your higher education. Check them out at morgancc.edu. Swung on, grounded weakly to second. To his right is Urker, throws to first. And Urquieta's retired for the opening out of the bottom of the third inning. That'll send up Bladen Pollitt, who delivered a sacrifice fly. Accounting for Fort Morgan's second run of that first inning. The right-hander gets the sign from Matt Sims, and the pitch. Swung on and driven in the air to left field. McWilliams to his left, towards the gap. He's under it, and he makes the lunging catch as he fell to the ground. Didn't get completely under it, but under it enough as McWilliams makes an outstanding catch in left field, robbing Pollitt of extra bases, and there's 2 down. That's sometimes just bad luck. Two down for Kenny Keller, who had a base hit in his first at-bat. The pitch, and the curveball is up and in. 1 ball, no strikes, with the bases empty and 2 down in the bottom of the third inning. Fort Morgan with a 4-0 lead over Weld Central. These 2 teams will hook up again on Friday in Keensburg. 1-0. Strike on the outside corner with a changeup. Levels the count at 1-1. This field looks like it's in very good condition. Not quite green yet. Never gets totally green. And that fastball is downstairs. 2 balls and 1 strike. With Nate Cage waiting to hit next. Keller, he just stays in that box. You love hitters who do that. And the offering. In the dirt with a fastball. 3-1. So I said that he stepped out, but only 1 foot just to get the sign from Coach Langford to see if he was taking or swinging away on a 3-1 count. And the offering. Swung on and dribbled to short. LeConte to his right. Fields fires in time. 1-2-3 inning for Weld Central's Brian Gutka. 3 complete in Fort Morgan. It's the Mustangs 4, the Weld Central Rebels nothing on B106 and B106.com. Well, let's hope this is a sign of good things to come with the game moving along quickly. And Fort Morgan holding a 4-0 lead over Weld Central as we head to the top of the 4th. 4, 5, and 6. Matt Sims, Dalton Wilkinson, and Brian Gutka against the left-hander Kyle Daniels, who's allowed 3 hits, struck out 5, and walked 1. And Sims was a strikeout victim in the opening frame, hitting for the right side with an open stance. The pitch, changeup is swung on, grounded left side. Urquieta's got it. No, he drops it at short. Long throw to first is late, and that'll be an error on the Mustang shortstop. And both teams have now committed an error. Try to field it a little bit too quickly. Well, Daniels walked a man, and then all of a sudden, the double play got him out of that mess. Cade Hoffman, the courtesy runner at first. For Weld Central, here's Dalton Wilkinson, the pitch. Swing and a miss and a breaking ball tailing away. It's 0-1. He struck out looking on a 3-2 pitch to lead off the second. Stretch by Daniels and the 0-1. Swing and a miss through the fastball right by him that time. Mixing up those pitches beautifully. It's 0-2. Hoffman with a very conservative lead against the left-hander. Daniels stretches. Daniels delivers. And the changeup is just off the plate. Ball 1, strike 2. Daniels never throws an 0-2 pitch anywhere too close to the strike zone. That was fairly close, but Wilkinson looked like he was taking all the way. And a pitch. Called strike 3, a breaking ball in the outer half at the knees. Wilkinson is strikeout victim number 6. And there's 1 down in the top of the 4th inning for Brian Gutka, who lined a base hit into right field his first time up. Weld Central, 1-4 going into the game. The last games they played, they were swept at home by Sterling. Patriot League team out of Class 3A. Daniels pitches. Curveball on the outer half for a strike. Just above the knees again, it's 0-1. Daniels looking for an ending double play. And that's about a half a step lead for Hoffman. He's going nowhere. Throw back to first and low. He's back in diving. Daniels just trying to let him know that he's thinking about him. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. Top of the 4th inning in Fort Morgan. The Mustangs with a 4-0 lead on the Rebels of Weld Central. The pitch. Swung on and grounded weakly towards the mound. Daniels charges, sets, throws offline, and safe at first is Gutka. That'll be a second error for Fort Morgan in this inning. On a routine play, Daniels just threw wide of the target. Nice job of Cage coming off the bag, knowing that if he didn't, the ball would have gone into right field. And the Mustangs just not making the easy play. Here's Isaac McWilliams. He singled his first time out, fouled to the left side. No balls and 1 strike. So Fort Morgan has 2 of the game's 3 errors. They might have to play some defense here just to get out of this mess. Can't rely on the Daniel strikeouts all the time. And the 0-1. Curveball is upstairs, and that levels the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Northeast Colorado's locally owned hometown savings and loan with locations in Fort Morgan, Sterling, and Brush is Equitable Savings and Loan. Schneider lays down the sign. McWilliams awaits the 1-1 pitch, and here it is. Way outside with a fastball. Looked like Daniels pretty much lost the grip on that one. 2-1. But again, you make the simple play, you get the easy out, and you avoid messes like this. We've had an error, a strikeout, and an error in this inning. That's why the inning is continuing with Fort Morgan up by 4. And now Daniels down to the count 2-1 against the 8th place hitter. Stretch and pitch. And the curveball is inside to Isaac McWilliams. It's the 7th place hitter, actually, with Andrew McWilliams on deck. Let's see, he goes off speed again. 3-1. Daniel stretches. And the offering. Swung on and line softly into left field for a base hit. Hoffman to third. He's not going to be able to score. And that'll load the bases for Weld Central. And stepping to the plate will be Andrew McWilliams, who struck out swinging in his first at bat. That's the second hit of the game for Isaac McWilliams. Well, the good news, you've got 8, 9, and 1 coming up. Or 8 and 9, I should say. Hopefully not even a 1. So Daniels can still work out of this without allowing a run. The wind and the pitch. Swing and a miss, and a ball tailing down in the zone. No balls and 1 strike. Swung on, grounded to short. Urquieta's got it, flipped to second for 1. Back to first, and that's going to be late. That's definitely late. And Weld Central has got a run on the board. Hoffman crosses home plate on the fielder's choice. And it's a 4-1 game. The ball was not hit all that hard. As Andrew McWilliams steps in. Or check that, Dawson Lang as McWilliams gets the RBI for Weld Central. But again, you commit those errors, and that's what did it. Stretch by Daniels, and the offering. Right there with a changeup down the middle. It is 0-1. Yeah, you know, Daniels not happy about allowing that run. It is unearned. That's the good news. The offering. Swing and a miss. Challenged him with a fastball that time. It is 0-2. Minimize the damage and you're okay. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and a fastball up in the zone. Tailing on the inside corner. And that does it for Weld Central in the top of the 4th inning. But they do score a run as the Rebels take advantage of a couple of Mustang errors. And there were 2 men left, 3.5 complete in Fort Morgan. It's Weld Central trailing Fort Morgan 4-1 on B106 and B106.com. The Mustangs lead 4-1 over Weld Central heading to the bottom of the 4th inning. And Nate Cage, Trey McBride, and Kyle Daniels will hit in the inning for the Mustangs against right-hander Brian Gutka. 4 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors by the Mustangs. They've stranded 3, 1 run, 4 hits, 1 error, and 5 left on base for Weld Central. Nate Cage popped to center in his opening at bat. Line and pitch, and the breaking ball went behind him. 1 ball and no strikes. Cage with a closed stance. That means that front foot is closer to the plate than the back foot. And he takes a changeup for a strike on the inside corner, belt high. And that levels the count at 1-1. Home of the $8.95 dinner menu during the week and the best prime rib on Friday and Saturdays. Atwood Steakhouse. Sims lays down the sign. And the 1-1. And that ball nearly clipped him on the breaking ball. Cage turned to avoid being hit by the baseball, and it just missed him. 2 balls and 1 strike. Mustangs looking for that big inning to break this thing open. And the pitch. And he takes a changeup low. 3-1 to Nate Cage. First baseman digs in. And the pitch. Swung on, grounded foul up the third base side. 3-2. Now, Fort Morgan will be on a Wednesday-Friday schedule for the most part. Sometimes they'll play Monday, Wednesday. Got a makeup game on April 6th on a Monday at Englewood. The pitch. Swing and a miss on a changeup, and Cage strikes out. And Brian Gutka, I got to tell you, he's done a nice job since coming into the game. One down for Trey McBride, who reached on an error and later scored. McBride hit a routine grounder to McWilliams at third, and he threw it into right field. Swing and a miss on a ball tailing in the zone. It is 0-1 to the freshman Trey McBride. Gutka's thrown just 26 pitches since coming into the game. In the bottom of the second inning, the offering, and the curveball is outside. That levels the count. At 1-1 whether you're in the market to purchase a new or pre-owned vehicle, Ehrlich Toyota East in Fort Morgan will fit you into the car or truck of your choice, serving all of Northeast Colorado. Ehrlich Toyota East in the dirt and all the way to the screen. On the all-speed pitch, it's 2-1 to Trey McBride. Now, both him and his brother Toby play football, but Toby a two-time state champion in wrestling, Trey a basketball player, and I think Toby does some track and field. The offering, swung on, that ball is hit deep into center field. Chris Quinn is way back to the fence, and it's off the top of the fence and back towards the infield, and McBride is going to settle at second base. That ball rolled all the way towards the infield, didn't quite get there, but McBride comes up with Fort Morgan's 8th hit of the game on a long fly ball that nearly went out of here. And that'll send up Kyle Daniels. Daniels has had a banner game so far. He's got the 7 strikeouts. And he's 2 for 2 with an RBI. The stretch. And the pitch swung on and foul back. No balls and 1 strike to Kyle Daniels. McBride off of second. He's got tremendous speed. Sims setting up right over the middle of the plate. Daniels awaits the pitch. Here it is. And the changeup is up and away. And that levels the count at 1 strike. The Mustangs with 2 runs in the first and 2 in the second. Weld Central countered with a run, an unearned run in the 4th inning. The stretch and the offering inside with a changeup. And that moves the count to 2-1. Now Daniels in a hitter's count. And the offering outside with another off-speed pitch. 3 balls and 1 strike. Well, you know he's going to be swinging if it's anywhere close, with Shirtliff waiting to hit next. The offering. Swung on and grounded inside the first baseline, headed towards the corner. Rounding third is McBride. He'll score. Daniels headed for second. He's got his second RBI. This time it's a double. And the Mustangs lead in the bottom of the 4th inning, 5-1 over the Weld Central Rebels. And Daniels has done it again. And Trevor Shirtliff will step in. Shirtliff is 2 for 2. An infield single and a bunt single. Righty against righty this time. The stretch and the offering. The ball is low. One ball and no strikes. Stretch and pitch, swung on and drifted into shallow right field. Lang to his left makes the two-handed grab. And there's 2 down. That'll send up Austin Cosman. Cosman in the game is 0 for 1. He popped to right in the first, and then a sac fly, driving in a run in the second. Did that with the bases loaded. I think he was probably thinking long ball there. The stretch by the right-hander Goodka, and the offering. Swung on, laced into left field for a base hit. Hit extremely hard. Daniels will round third. Daniels will score. The throw toward short. Now to second. Sliding in is Cosman. We'll give him a double. He never stopped. Austin Cosman picked up the speed, and he's able to get the RBI double as Fort Morgan now leads 6-1. There's Joey Schneider. Infield single, and he grounded out. Cosman never stopped. Yeah, had he gone strictly on the throw, I think we would have said a single and then going to second on the throw, but he kept going. The pitch swung on. That ball is lifted into deep left field, but should be a play for McWilliams to his right. He makes the catch, and that will end the inning. But the Mustangs do it again as they score 2 runs in the frame. And Fort Morgan does it on 3 hits, no errors, and a man left. 4 complete. It is Fort Morgan 6, Weld Central 1 on B106 and B106.com. Fort Morgan leads Weld Central by a score of 6-1. As we head to the top of the 5th inning. And Fort Morgan and Kyle Daniels continues to do the job on the hill. He'll face the top of the order, Jake Erker, Chris Quinn, and Jimmy LaConte. Daniels has struck out 7, and he's walked just 1. He's allowed 4 hits in the game, and the Mustangs have committed a couple of errors. The left-hander delivers, and the bender is down and in. 1 ball and no strikes. That was pitch number 65, thrown by the junior. Erker settles back in, and the offering, and the fastball tails away. It's 2-0. Daniels began that 3rd inning with a walk. Swung on and grounded to Cage. The first baseman on 1 hop. He'll step on the bag, and there's 1 down in the top of the 5th inning. That'll send up Chris Quinn. Quinn had a single in his first at bat, then grounded back to the mound. That began a 1-6-3 double play. Pitch by Daniels. Swing and a miss. He swung over the breaking ball. It's 0-1. And the offering. Strike on the outside corner with the off-speed pitch. It's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to Quinn. Wind and pitch. Swung on and lined on. 2 hops to Cage. And again the first baseman races to the bag and beats Chris Quinn for the out. Excellent defense by Nate Cage. There's 2 down. That'll send up Jimmy LaConte. Grounded to the catcher, grounded to second, the pitch. And the changeup is outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Daniels is working very efficiently here in this frame. The offering in the dirt all the way to the screen. That looked like a mix between a changeup and a curveball. Anytime that happens, you're not sure what's going to happen other than maybe in that particular case getting into the dirt. 2-0. Down the middle for a strike with a fastball just above the knees. Ball 2, strike 1. 2 down, nobody on. We're in the top of the 5th inning. Fort Morgan with 2 runs in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the fourth. Leads Weld Central 6-1. And the curveball is upstairs. 3 balls and 1 strike to the shortstop, Jimmy LaConte. Schneider looks over to the dugout for the sign. And the pitch. And the curveball's right over the middle of the plate. That was gorgeous. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Novus Auto Glass Repair and Replacement gets you back on the road. 3-2. The offering inside with a fastball. Nearly hit LeConte. Walks. Walk number 2 issued by Kyle Daniels. That'll extend the inning for Matt Sims. We'll have to get off the gear. Sims is 0 for 2. He struck out swinging and then reached on a Mustang error, which led to the only run scored by Weld Central in the 4th. Daniels gets the sign from Schneider. Big lead at first. Throwback to first. Back in standing is LeConte. Oh, there's a shot that he might not have to face the heart of the order if he gets Sims out. He's the cleanup hitter in this lineup. Stretched by Daniels. And the pitch. Curveball is grounded to short. Urquieta to his right. Has got it. Flips to second for the force. And that does it in the 5th inning for Weld Central. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left. 4.5 complete. It's Fort Morgan 6, Weld Central 1 on B106 and B106.com. It'll be 5, 6, and 7 for the Mustangs. Carlito Urquieta, Bladen Pollitt, and Kenny Keller against the right-hander Brian Gutka, who is beginning his 3rd full inning of work. He's already actually thrown. Let's see, he's thrown 3 full innings already as he came in with nobody out in the 2nd inning. The Mustangs holding a 6-1 lead. Urquieta singled in his first at-bat, then grounded to second. He's 1 for 2. Keep in mind, as always, if you're listening in right now and can't stay with us, you can always just log on to the web. Go to KSIRsports.com. You can follow this game pitch by pitch. It'll tell you exactly what's happened pitch by pitch. Got a big scoreboard for you. Click on where it says for faster connections, and you'll see the entire scoreboard. Pretty fascinating. An entire box score as well, just like you'd see at the major league level. KSIRsports.com, and click on today's game between Fort Morgan and Weld Central. We'll be doing that all season while I call games for the Mustangs on B106 and B106.com. Urquieta batting from the right side for Fort Morgan. Gutka's thrown a lot of changeups. He's been pretty successful, the offering. And that one is a little bit inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, I'd like to see a game where the walks are limited, the wild pitches, and so are the runs. You don't want to see a bunch of runs either. The offering in the dirt to the screen. Yeah, a lot of runs for Fort Morgan, but not for the opposing team. Yesterday they did a game on 1010 and KSIR.com, which featured 31 runs. And even without the 12 that Valley scored in the 7th inning, there were still 19 combined in the first 6. And that was a very good game, though. It was that 7th inning that spoiled everything. And the 2-0 swung on and tapped off the end of the bat down the first base line. That's a nowhere land, and it went foul. Yeah, it trickled foul. If not, it would have been a base hit when it was picked up there by Gutka. 2 balls and 1 strike. Way out in front of that changeup. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Game is only an hour and 13 minutes old, and we're only 2 innings away from ending this thing unless Fort Morgan scores 5 runs and can end this in 5. 2 balls and 1 strike to Carlito Urquieta. The offering outside with the off-speed pitch. It's 3-1. Yeah, if you can get all the way to Cosman, you might have a chance of winning this game in the 5th inning. Cosman would be the 8th hitter of the inning. And the 3-1 pitch in the dirt with a breaking ball, and Urquieta walks. Bladen Pollitt is 0 for 1, a sac fly, and then he popped out. And you got speed at first base as well. Urquieta, big-time threat to run. The stretch and the offering. Swung on and driven into left field, and coming in is McWilliams, and he makes the basket catch on the soft fly ball hit by Pollitt. Back to first is Urquieta. And there's 1 down. Didn't quite get the thick part of the bat as Pollitt is now 0 for 2. And that'll bring up the 7th place hitter for the Mustangs, Kenny Keller. Keller singled, then grounded to short. He's 1 for 2. Two-step lead for Carlito Urquieta. Gurka delivers. Swung on tap, foul up the third base side. No balls and 1 strike. Nate Cage will hit next, followed by McBride. Laying down the sign is Sims. Again, a short lead at first. And the offering. Swung on that ball's grounded up the middle. The shortstop LeConte it go right underneath his glove into center field. But right there was Chris Quinn to back it up. So even though Urquieta was running with the pitch, he could not advance to third. It is an error. The second one of the game. Here by this Weld Central Rebel team. And that'll send up Nate Cage. Cage has popped out and struck out swinging. Again, get around to Cosman, and you've got a chance to win this game in the inning. It's 6-1 Fort Morgan in the bottom of the 5th. The offering. And the fastball, a strike as it tailed away on the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike. 4 runs. Check that, 6 runs on 10 hits for the Mustangs, 1 on 4 for Weld Central. Both teams have committed 2 errors. 0-1. Swung on. That ball is driven down the line, deep into left field. McWilliams is way back, and that ball is going to land shy of the fence. Urquieta scores. To third is Kenny Keller. Into second with the RBI double is Nate Cage. And the Mustangs now lead the game 7-1 over Weld Central. And here's Trey McBride. So Fort Morgan has scored in every inning but 1. They've been that efficient on offense. Well, let's see if the freshman can deliver as he steps into the batter's box against Brian Gurka. Gurka stretches. Looks in. And the pitch. Swung on. That ball is driven into center field. To his right is Quinn. He ranges under it. Makes the catch. Tagging up at third is Keller. He's going to score on the sacrifice fly by Trey McBride. And the Mustangs now lead by a score of 8-1. So McBride delivers nicely. Now you got a runner only at second. And watch out because Kyle Daniels is 3 for 3, and he swings and lofts it into center field. Quinn is back to his left, ranges under it, and he makes the catch. And the inning is over. But the Mustangs had 2 more runs. They get a sac fly from McBride. Nate Cage with the RBI double, and it was a man left. 5 complete. Fort Morgan 8. Weld Central 1 on B106 and B106.com. Now we're going to head to the 6th inning. And Cade Hoffman will lead off. And the changeup is low. Dalton Wilkinson normally hitting in the spot, but apparently he might not be completely healthy. So this is his first at bat of the game. 1 ball, no strikes. The pitch. Swing and a miss on the breaking ball. Count levels at 1-1. Kyle Daniels has been in control. Only walked a couple hitters. The pitch. Swing and a miss on a fastball up in the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 pitch away from his 8th strikeout. And Hoffman awaits. That is a called strike 3 down the middle of the fastball. And Hoffman is out number 1 in the 6th inning. And here comes Brian Gurka. He's singled and reached on an error. He is 1 for 2 in the game. Willow Coffee, Tea, and Smoothies and G Sweets Bakery are perfect combination. Grounder to third. Cosman to his left. Sets, throws low, and dug out beautifully at first base. And there's 2 down. Excellent play by Adrian Marquez. As Cosman retires the hitter. So Goodka's retired. There's Isaac McWilliams. He's been the thorn in Daniels' side. He's 2 for 2 in the game. G Sweets, Willow Coffee, Tea, and Smoothies and G Sweets Bakery open 6 days a week. 921 Edison Street in Brush. The breaking ball is upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. This will be Daniels' 84th pitch of the game. The offering, fastball is high. 2 balls and no strikes. Daniels ready. Gets the sign. And the pitch swung on and lifted into shallow left center field. To his left is Kenny Keller. Makes the two-handed catch. And it's a very quick inning for Kyle Daniels as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. In Fort Morgan, the Mustangs playing some solid baseball lead the Weld Central Rebels 8-1 on B106 and B106.com. We move to the bottom of the 6th inning. Fort Morgan with an 8-1 lead on Weld Central. Trevor Shurtleff, Austin Cosman, and Joey Schneider will be hitting for the Mustangs. Shurtleff is 2 for 3. Infield single. Then a bunt single, and he also popped out. And Brian Goodka remains in the game. He's only thrown 50 pitches. That's 50 pitches in 4 full innings. Mustangs have scored 5 runs off of him. He's not the pitcher of record. Dalton Wilkinson is the pitcher of record. By the way, Isaac McWilliams now at first base, and Kate Hoffman is the left fielder. Wind and pitch, swung on and grounded into left field. That is a base hit for Trevor Shurtleff, his 3rd hit of the game. So the top 2 hitters, Daniels and Shurtleff, have combined for 6 of Fort Morgan's 12 hits. Austin Cosman is 1 for 2. He popped out, sac fly, and a double. And both the sac fly and the double drove in runs. Big, strong right-handed hitter. Awaits the pitch. Here it is, and he takes a fastball inside underneath the elbows. 1 ball and no strikes to Cosman. Shurtleff with a 2-step lead. The stretch and the offering, and he takes a curveball upstairs. Yeah, this is smelling of the Mustangs perhaps winning this game here in the 6th inning. Daniels would not have to take the mound. That would save him some pitches. 2 balls and no strikes. Short lead at first, about a 2-step lead for Shurtleff. Stretched by Goodka, and the offering. Swung on and popped up into right field, and retreating towards first is going to be Shurtleff as the catch is made along the line in foul territory. That's actually Hoffman in right field. And there's 1 down. A good idea there, but unfortunately, he was unable to pull it off, and I'm talking about Austin Cosman. So here's Joey Schneider. Schneider from the right side. Pitch in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes. And let's see, that ball got a piece of the catcher, Sims. Schneider singled, grounded out, and popped out. Sims going to walk this off. Not sure where it got him, but certainly not in a place that he was able to recover from rather quickly. He's got to walk that thing off. Accidents and illness can strike at any time, day and night, and every second counts. And Colorado Plains Medical Center is a level 3 trauma center. They can handle any type of emergency. Colorado Plains Medical Center. So Sims is okay after walking that off. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out, 1 on. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning in Fort Morgan. And the Mustangs holding on to an 8-1 lead. They either need 3 runs in this inning to end the game or just get 3 outs in the top of the 7th inning. Only difference is that Kyle Daniels would have to throw some pitches. if we do get to the 7th. Schneider settles back in. Two-step lead for Shirtliff at first, who's got 3 hits in the game. The stretch by Gutka and the offering. Swung on and grounded to second. Could be 2. Flip to second for 1. Back to first. It's a 4-6-3 double play. And the inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and the bases were left empty. Let's head to the 7th in Fort Morgan. The score, Fort Morgan 8, Weld Central 1 on B106 and B106.com. And Kyle Daniels will attempt to go the distance for Fort Morgan as the Mustangs, in a very quick game up to this point, lead the Rebels of Weld Central 8-1. It'll be the bottom of the lineup. Andrew McWilliams, Dawson Lang, and then the one-hitter, Jake Erker. Daniels has struck out 8 and walked 2. He's allowed just 4 hits. Weld Central has actually stranded more runners. They've stranded 6. The Mustangs have stranded 5. So here's McWilliams, who struck out swinging in his first plate appearance and hit into a fielder's choice, officially at 0 for 2 in the game. As the left-hander Daniels will throw his 86th pitch of the game. McWilliams awaits, and the fastball is a strike on the outer half of the knees. It's 0-1. Here's the wind and offering. Curveball is laced foul up the third base side. Moves the count to 0-2. Again, we'll be with you coming up on Friday, 4 o'clock on B106 and B106.com against Weld Central. I doubt that'll be as quick a game as this one, because Daniels works quickly. The Mustangs swung efficiently at the plate. Didn't take a ton of pitches. They saw a lot of strikes, and they were swinging away. No balls and 2 strikes to Andrew McWilliams. Pitch swung on and grounded right back to Daniels. Sets, throws, and there's 1 down in the 7th. 1 down for the number 9 hitter, Dawson Lang, who has struck out twice. I mean, this is great baseball. Just work through the order. And Daniels, he just looks like a pitcher. And the offering outside with a changeup. 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, he can give in here to Lang because he's certainly and the ball hit him. It hit him on the curveball. He didn't give in at all. He's trying to throw his best stuff. And it's a 1-out hit batsman. They issued a Dawson Lang. And that'll bring up Jake Erker. Erker will have his 4th plate appearance. He's 0 for 2. He struck out, walked, and then grounded out to the first baseman cage. Right now, Marquez at first base. He took over first base in the last inning. Mustangs have turned a double play in this game. Short lead at first. The pitch. Swag, and a miss on a fastball above the letters. It's 0-1. Brenda Robinette, your farmer's agent at Farmers Insurance Agency, will provide unique, customized coverage at an affordable price. The pitch upstairs with a heater. That levels the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. To Jake Erker. 2-step lead at first for Lang. And Daniels delivers. Curveball is grounded down the third base side. Foul. It is 1-2. And again, if you missed any pitch of this game, just log on to KSIRsports.com. Click on one of the links for the faster or slower connections, the faster one being better. And you'll see what's happened pitch by pitch in the game with a complete box score. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, 1 on. Fort Morgan leads Weld Central 8-1 in the 7th. Daniels delivers. Swung on and grounded to Daniels. Daniels throws to second. That's 1. Urquieta to first. That is late. Oh, barely late. It would have ended the game on a double play. Instead, there's 2 down in the frame. 2 down for Chris Quinn, who singled and grounded out twice. That ball wasn't hit hard, but right back at Daniels, but that's speed getting down that line. The stretch. Pitch to Quinn. Swung on, grounded up the middle, headed for center field. That's a base hit. So the game continues as Chris Quinn is able to line it up the middle. Daniels had thoughts there of ending the game. Here's Jimmy LeConte. Runners at first and second. And 2 down. And the curveball just a little bit inside. Man, that looked good from here. I think that was a missed call by the umpire. LeConte is grounded out twice, and he's walked. This will be pitch number 97, thrown by Daniels. Lefty against lefty. Here it is. And the curveball is a little bit high. 2-0. Mustangs are 1 out away. 2 balls and no strikes. Daniels gets the sign from Schneider. And the throw back to first. And safe. Oh, I don't know how he got back in. Oh, the throw clearly beat Chris Quinn over there on the back end, but he was called safe. Guess the tag wasn't applied, or applied late. Great move by Daniels. And now Marquez plays behind the bag, so there won't be any pickoff move. But you got to throw a strike. You're down in the count 2-0. And the ball nearly hit him, the fastball tailing in. 1 pitch away from loading the bases. 3 balls and no strikes. Fort Morgan with an 8-1 lead here in the 7th. Matt Sims is on deck. The pitch. Fastball is a strike just above belt level. LeConte threw the bat up the first base side, but now he's got to get back in there. 3-1. This will be pitch number 100 for the southpaw Daniels. He gets the sign from Joey Schneider. 3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. And now the runner, they just the throw to third. I don't know. Oh, Schneider held on to the ball. And it's a delayed steal. It made me stutter all over the place. Urker would have been out. But Schneider held on to the ball, maybe thinking that Cosman wasn't there to cover. I don't know. It's a very strange stolen base there. Now 3-2 to LeConte. Schneider sets up over the middle. And the pitch swung on and lifted in the infield on the left side. The third baseman Cosman called up by Urquiera, who makes the catch at short. And that does it. And the Fort Morgan Mustangs have won the game by a score of 8-1 over the Weld Central Rebels as the Rebels strand 2 in the 7th inning. We'll take a break. A 1-minute break. We'll wrap it up after this. Fort Morgan 8, Weld Central 1 on B106 and B106.com. Mustang post-game show is brought to you by Mr. D's Ace Farm and Home Center in Sterling Brush and Fort Morgan, your farm and ranch headquarters for all your farm and ranch supplies. They carry feed for all your animals and pets. Mr. D's Ace Farm and Home Center. The Mustangs win the game over the Weld Central Rebels 8-1. 8 runs on 12 hits, 2 errors, and 5 left on base for Fort Morgan. 1 run on 5 hits, 2 errors, and 8 left on base for the Weld Central Rebels. The winning pitcher was Kyle Daniels. He went the distance, allowing those 5 hits, striking out 7, walking 2, hitting a batter. The loss went to Dalton Wilkinson. He lasted 1+ innings, allowing 3 runs on 5 hits. Time of the game, 1 hour and 36 minutes as the Mustangs scored 2 runs in the opening frame. They took the lead on Carlito Urquiera's RBI single. Bladen Pollitt then with a sac fly. The Mustangs would double the lead in the second. Kyle Daniels with an RBI single. Austin Cosman came through for Fort Morgan with a base hit as well, making it 4-0 after a Weld Central run in the top of the 4th inning, as Cosman, by the way, hit a double in the Cosman with a sac fly. That's what I wanted to say in the 2nd inning. And then Cosman with an RBI double in the 4th inning, preceded by Daniels' RBI double, made it 6-1. And then Fort Morgan would close out the scoring in the 5th inning. Nate Cage with a run-scoring double. Trey McBride with a sacrifice fly as the Mustangs improved to 2-0 in Colorado 7 league play and 4-2 overall. Weld Central 1-5 overall as they drop their league opener. And Fort Morgan got 3 hits in the game from both Kyle Daniels and Trevor Shurtleff. So the top two men in the order certainly did deliver for Fort Morgan, and they had 6 other hitters with 1 hit apiece. All right, the Mustangs are back at it coming up on Friday, 4 o'clock on B106 and B106.com, as Fort Morgan will be on the road against the Weld Central Rebels as well. Sound engineer and producer of Fort Morgan Mustang Baseball has been Braden Godin. I'm John Beltran with a final score, Fort Morgan 8, Weld Central 1 on B106 and B106.com.